Hey guys, how's it going? Ghosty Rich here today, and today I'm going to be working on the 2015 Jeep, and we're putting in, remember the speakers I had in the Mazda? They're coming in here. They were so good, so I can't wait to get them in here. They're kicker Key West's, as you can see. I'm going to have to reorganize how the speakers are set up because the tweeters for the ones up here are probably going to be mounted differently than they are now. As you can also see, we've got this to deal with. Should be very simple. Check this out. Want to see something cool? Let's see if I can do it right now. 2 clips and we have access to the tweeter, eh? Just a couple bolts right here. I think these are probably 7 mils. Rip these puppies out. I'm gonna integrate our tweeters into here. And then for over here, it's pretty easy. Just grab this, pull this off, and then run your finger down along the bottom, use your nail. Check that out. Aha. Boom. We have access to 2 silver screws right here, which are holding the speaker in, those 2. And then 1, which will be right here, which we'll have to get from the bottom. So first I'll have to take out this little kick plate. These are 10 mils, it looks like. But yeah, do that on the other side. And then we're going to pop out the glove box, which is, I don't know if you've ever popped this glove box out, but oh my God, is it simple. Move some of my stuff out of the way here. Pop it forward and just pull the bottom out. Literally, the bottom just pulls right out. Glove box out. We now have access to that screw. And do what I did with my finger along the edge, again, all the way up, and that side pops out, and pop that out. Next thing I need to do is pop out these speakers too, and those we'll have to size up the screws for. So give me a sec here and we'll get going. Oh, by the way, that's the 4-channel amp we're using, which is a kicker, or sorry, not a kicker, an Infinity Kappa. Thing does 150 watts RMS at 2 ohms, and at 4 ohms, it does 125, so that thing is gonna more than power these speakers. All right, let's get started. All right, so this was super simple. This was plugged into here, and all I had to do was I had to squeeze this center tab right here and pop it out. And remember, I told you it was just the 2 little screws right here. After I popped those 2 little screws right there, I came down here. Remember I told you to take out the knee basher? All it is 2 bolts. I can even show you here. It's just in there like this. So when you pop out the 2 10 mils, all you do is you lift up on it and it comes out. See, there's 2 little barbed hooks, one right there, one right there. Lift it out, boom, put that there. Take out this screw, take out this screw, and there's one more, I believe. I'm just taking, oh yes, one right here. So this is a 7 mil. It'll be right down here, right beside your OB2 connector. Take it out. Take out this 7 mil and take out that 7 mil. Look at all this flex you got. Once you have this flex in here, all you're gonna do is get around here, and there's 1 bolt right here. It's gonna be fun to get, but with this all open, you can get it really easy. You just take a 10 mil ratchet and get it from the bottom. So just reach around like this, put it on the bottom and unscrew it. Once you've got those out, and these 2 7 golds right here, just grab the speaker, flex this forwards, and flip this down. So you want to flip it from top down, and then if you take a look here, she's out. So that's how you get rid of this entire side. Go repeat that for the other side. I'm gonna go take a look, and if I find anything different, I'll let you know. All right guys, so the wiring colors, so you guys know the wiring colors are gray purple are the positive, gray yellow is the negative for the front, one of the front speakers. For the other front speaker, it's dark green, purple, and then that's the positive. Dark green, yellow is the negative. And again, that could be either dark green or purple. You'll have to see, but it should be dark green, yellow, dark green, purple. And then on the rear speakers, you should have a gray, light green, and that's going to be the positive. Gray, dark green's the negative. And then on the other side should be, which is the right rear speaker, should be dark green with a light green stripe. I'm guessing I'm going to have to take a look. And then dark green, gray is your negative. So dark green, light green is your positive. Dark green, light gray, or just gray is your negative. So we'll know that more once I get back to the back speakers. So glove box side was just as easy. 1 screw here. You could even leave this one in. I took it out, but yeah, leave this one in, take this one out, take the one out on the bottom, And yeah, that's it for this side. Just the one out here on the bottom and then the one right here. And then after that, again, easy to access that clip that slides on over here. Just stick your hand under here with the 10 mil and loosen it up, or even going from the side right here. Just do your 10 mil ratchet, take out that screw. I usually take it 3 turns, and then I unscrew the rest with my fingers. After I got that out, there's the wiring harness. I just unplug it from the box, and this one I rolled out to the glove box because it made a heck of a lot more sense. So now that I've got all the speakers out of here, actually I'm gonna still take out this one. I'm gonna quickly show you how to take out the top speakers. All right, next thing you're gonna need, I don't know if you can see it there, it's the 764 Allen key. And you're just gonna go up in these holes and loosen them. I already got that one, I've just gotta get this one right here. So just go into each one of these holes and loosen out the 3 bolts with this. This is probably the coolest thing I've seen in a while. What they've got here now in the Jeep roll bar is they've actually separated it. Don't worry if you've got coaxials, just disconnect that speaker and hook the coaxials up here, which is of course that style speaker. If you have that style speaker right there, just mount that in there and then unplug that speaker and just leave it in there to seal the box. But if you have something with a crossover, so you have a tweeter and the woofer separate, go ahead and hook those up in there. That's pretty sick. Alright guys, so this is super cool. What they've done is they've actually made the tweeter port here, like the tweeter opening, it's sealed, and then this is sealed. So why are you like, oh that's so cool? The reason why is because then you're gonna probably get some better low ends and some better mid bass just from how tight it'll sound in here from being sealed. Next thing I'm gonna say is the white is the positive and the black is the negative. You're probably wondering, how does he know that? Because he gave us different wiring colors. It's because if you take a look at this clip, it's the exact same thing and the speakers are the exact same. So remember how I said purple gray was the posi? Well, if you come back here and you line up these clips, the white lines up with the purple gray. So that means the white is the positive back over here. Okay? So from there, take out the other side and let's start making these speakers fit. Alright guys, so I'm building up this tweeter. What I had to do was, I'll show you now, is I distinguished, and this is what you should do. See these tabs? As close as you can to the basket, you're going to want to trim them. So right about there. And I've got tin snips, but I'm just showing you with a marker. And then what you do, or whatever you want to do it with, just cut it right here. And what you do is after that, you're going to tear out all the old speaker guts. It'll be pretty easy. I'll show you after I've got it gutted. But like I said, and what you do is use these tabs on your new tweeter. The reason why is your tweeters that you're going to get are going to have a trim piece, and you want them, with me, this, look how good that fit. That's ridiculous. Like, this is the trim ring. This is a super big tweeter though. So what you do is you use the tabs like I have here, and they hold the new tweeter in. Because what it does is this is a trim ring that sits over top of the tweeter, and the tweeter gets pressed in by using this basket, which you screw in. As you screw it in, or some of them are barbed, so you press them in, all it does is it squeezes into the tweeter, or screws on like so, and presses the tweeter ring against here, so it sandwiches it into the metal. As you can see, it holds it nicely. If you want, I might even do this, take a glue gun, throw a little bit of glue right here on each of the corners, and that'll hold it nice and tightly in there. After we do that, just got to solder it in, positive to negative. As you can see here, I've already got one of the mid drivers in. I've got to do something over here for this speaker. For your speaker, it'll probably line up. With mine, just because of how the speaker is built, they did it like a subwoofer rather than having tabs that stick out like usual 6x9s do. This one doesn't have tabs that stick out. It's just like that. So I have to actually makeshift something. And don't be afraid, just screw right into the plastic right here. And then if you want to seal it completely, put a bead of silicone all the way around. And then after you do this, just do that to both sides. And then with the front, we'll start working on the front in a sec. There you go. She's in right there. Just the 2 bolts after you build it, and then put your cover on it, and it's completely hidden. And then I'm just going to do the soldering right here because of course I've got to do crossovers. If you're not doing crossovers, you know what to do. Just solder in on the one. Now, actually, if you are doing crossovers, I should say this, if you're putting a separate tweeter up here, you're going to get that little crossover piece, which you'll have to connect to the tweeter, and then there'll probably be another wire which will connect to the woofer. So rather than touching the tweeter wire, leave that wire alone. Just tuck it in, grab the woofer wire, which is right here, and that's what you want to solder in going in. Believe it or not, the tweeter and the woofer, they're soldered into each other if you look deeper into the vehicle. Unless you have the Alpine system, they might each be amplified, but this is for the basic system. For the basic system, the tweeter will not be crossed over. It'll actually be built in. If you take a look here, this was the stock tweeter. All they did was, see this little thing right here? That's the crossover. So, and it's a little bit different. That's the crossover for these speakers. They're ridiculously big. So, that's all you're doing for the top end. Now it's time to start working with the boxes. So as you see, what I did here is all I did is I cut right there and I ripped the coil out. So then after you rip the coil out, now you just gotta poke through here with a pair of pliers or a key, and then you're just gonna clean up this edge, fold these tabs into here so those will hold, and I'll show you just before I sandwich the tweeter. Hey guys, so as you can see, we got our ring here and we got our tweeter. Now if you take a look here, this is a lip. See, this is the tweeter. You have this little adapter plate that usually comes with almost all tweeters. They have something along this line. So you put this on, and then as you'll see here, mine just fits perfect. It just sits right in here. Look at that. Nice and flush. So once it's in here, as you can see, I've got these to grip it, and that's why I left little tabs here. And then I have a thing right here. This is the back piece. You might have this, or you might have a piece that crimps on the back. There's always something. Or if all fails and you've lost it, you can glue it in along that ring if you really want to. But as you can see here, I'm just gonna grab this. And this one might be a little long. I might still have to trim it down. See, if we take a look here. Okay, so it's a little long. So as you can see, we have this right here, and I just need to trim. See how these little lines here? I just need to trim some off so that way I can get it. I'm going to trim off that many, 2 off of each. At least this gives you more of a tutorial on how this ends up going. There we go, I got 2 off of each, and then now I'm going to lift this back up. Put this back through the center, and then now I'll screw it on. There we go. Nice and tight. As you can see, she's in there. I can sort of rotate it to where I want it, and then if I want to, I can just tighten it right up. After this is tight, now you just take it and put it in your mounting location, and we'll solder it in a bit. There you go. Alright guys, so I needed to make sure I could get wires from here to here because I'm going to be bringing my power wires in there. I don't want any wiring going through this side of the vehicle for the speakers. So as you can see, all I did is I fished in just up here, just like that. It's super easy. There's lots of room there. It's like you're trying to aim just below this mark right here in the dash. Once you aim there, it arrives right here in the glove box, and like I said, it took like nothing. So I'm just going to tape 2 wires on here. One's going to be tweeter, one's going to be woofer wire. And I'm just gonna feed these over to here so that way I can wire in my crossover. With you, if you've got your crossovers and they're super tiny, but you're running a 4-channel amp, you're just gonna be grabbing the crossover wire, which says 2 amplifier or 2 whatever it says. It'll probably say input, and then I'll have tweeter and then woofer on it. So the input wire is the only one, so you only need to run wire. I need to run 2. So I'm going to tape this onto here and pull this through the vehicle. Sorry, another one you're going to want to run through is a 3rd wire from there. The reason why is because even though you're doing 1 input wire, if you're adding a 4-channel amp, we need to solder one onto here, remember? So if you are going to have to run that 2nd wire. So that way you can solder 1 onto here, because this is going to be the side that's coming from the deck, and then you're going to need 1 from your crossover to go back to the amplifier and the input. And I'll show you how that all works, because as you can see here, we have the line output converter, so you need to run a line from each one coming out of the deck, into here. Now, if you have an aftermarket stereo, it's different. You need to, for the aftermarket stereo, you just have to worry about the RCAs, and that's not a big deal. All you'll do is you'll run all your new wires to the amplifier and then run the RCAs from the aftermarket deck to there. If you're wondering all about that, you can always look up Go See Rich 4-channel amp install, and I've done so many of them with RCAs for running from an aftermarket deck to them. Like I said, since we're using a line output converter, I have to run a bunch of lines to the line output converter. That's kind of how it goes. Alright, so as you can see, I've soldered the pigtail on, so that way I can just plug this right into the speaker box, and then the speaker box is wired into here. If you're wondering about which is positive and negative on the box, it's pretty easy. I already read you off the wire colors, which are positive. With this side it was gray or purple gray, so it's got a purple stripe on a gray wire, and that lined up with the green red, so that made the red wire the neg. So all I did is I got it all ready, put everything together in the box, and now it's time to put the speakers in. I'm also going to probably throw a piece of silicone around this one, but this one's held in really good. Gosh, these speakers are heavy. Alright, so if for some reason you are not amplifying your speakers, what you're going to be doing now is I've already got the box that I'm going to be putting in, but so I can show you if you're using a crossover setup like I am doing, only with a smaller crossover. All you're doing is soldering your tweeter into the tweeter port, your mid driver into the mid driver port, and then on the input you're going to solder that onto either this wire or the tweeter wire, like this factory wire. It doesn't matter which one because they're both interlinked together. And see how I've left this one blank and just taped up down here? This is the original one from the woofer. That's because it's not going to be used anymore. We're not using it at all, and so you just want to make sure that that doesn't short or you don't do anything with that. After you've done that, you've got it. You can put it back together now. The fun one will be right here if you've got this. So say you've got your tweeter right here. Right here, I'm going to pull the woofer out again, and you'll see that the woofer and the tweeter meet together. All you're going to do is you can either run a new wire into this box, or yeah, all you have to do is again wire this part that's coming in through here, cut it, wire that to the tweeter port of your crossover, then the mid driver one, just hook that one up, and then solder either the other side of the tweeter wire that you cut off or the other side of the woofer wire that like cut off the plug of the woofer wire, and you're gonna hook that up to the input so it gets that from the amp, and then you're just gonna replicate that with both sides. So I just showed you how to do that with this side all the way down. You're gonna do that with that side all the way down. Now if you're adding an amplifier, like I said, if you've got a small crossover, good on you, you can tuck it in there, make sure you velcro it or something, or I'd pretty much glue it if you're going off-roading. So after you've got that in there, after that, you'll have your tweeter hooked to the tweeter. Now you've got that other wire that's going all the way down. We're gonna fetch the wires over there. If you've got big crossovers like the Holy Bible, like I've got right there, I've got to run a fresh wire from my tweeter along here, or my woofer through here, and then down, and same with over there, because I can only utilize one of these, like, and that's because I'm not putting my crossover in here, so I have to have a wire for my tweeter and for my woofer. So I've got 4 wires, and then plus then from there I'll do an input wire from there to the amplifier. All good and fun, right? Alright, cool. So I can explain it better. See, I've got the woofer out now. See this long wire, that goes to there, and these are spliced together right in the center. That's what's going on in the dash right there. So what you're doing is you're gonna cut this, clean this up, and you're going to put this on the tweeter part of your crossover. So that'll go onto your tweeter. You'll leave this, just tape it up so it's right here. Make sure the leads aren't touching, but tape it up. Then right here is going to be your woofer. You'll connect this onto the woofer, and then you can cut it right here, or tell you what, just treat this as an input. Now take another, that'll go to the input, and then off of your crossover you'll need another piece of wire going from there to your woofer, and that's it. So you've got 3 things going on: tweeter wire to the tweeter portion, woofer wire to the woofer portion, and then that. Now if you've got a crossover, all you need to do is screw this part, leave this cut like that and tucked in, and just connect that onto the back of the speaker, and you're done. That's for if you're not doing a 4-channel amp. If you're doing a 4-channel amp, here's my problem. Or if you're doing the 4-channel amp, then we'll be catching the wire from over there. Now if you have big crossovers like me, because you're wiring in millis or something, what you'll need to do is we've got to actually run a spare wire through this channel through here. So I'm going to undo that speaker right there, because they're probably going right underneath that speaker, and I'm going to pull a new wire all the way through from here to here. I'll probably just pop the grommets out and use a piece of hay wire and fish it from there to there. It shouldn't actually be too hard. Once we get over to there, then I've just got to start unzipping this and stuff all the way to the floor. So there we go. I've got the tweeter mounted. Now another thing I was going to show you is for 6.5, what you can do. Remember what I showed you to do with the tweeters? You can do that with the woofer too. What you do is you cut out the basket just like I showed with the tweeter, only these are plastic baskets, so it's even easier. And you take your speaker, and if you take a look here, it'll make a really good seal as well if you want to do that instead, and just bolt your speakers into the plastic ring. And again, mine won't cut 100% fit in there because I think these are 6 by 5 or 6 by 7.5s, where you're probably putting in 6.5s. So it's one of those things where if you want to try and use this as a ring, and then it's easier to bolt in and out, then you can use some factory screws just to put it in and out. But yeah, there you go. If you are doing this way, what you might need to do is actually bolt the ring in and then bolt the speaker into the ring once it's up, because the screws might not fit around or fit past this, like just because this is so close. So just a little thing for you there, okay? So I'll show you how to do the other trick. All you do is you pull this out like so. Now see how I have it bolted into here? See how the tips are basically not showing? I can still back those off a little bit, but I'm going to put those along in here. Yeah, I still have to back those off quite a bit, but I can see this is going to sit like that. Then I'm going to tie the 3 bolts in right here, hold the top of the speaker down like so. When I'm pushing down to make sure this doesn't push up, I'll just hold it down, go around with my drill, and plus put those ones in, and we'll be all good. That's basically all I have to make sure I do. Okay? Check out this sweet spot I found for a couple of the crossovers. Solid, not moving anywhere. Ain't gonna touch those 2 hot pipes right there. If you're hiding them in here, there's 2 silver pipes. Make sure you do not touch them or put anything up against them. But this ain't going anywhere, and it's off-road friendly, meaning when I start going off-road, it ain't gonna make any rattle noise. And if it does start to make any noise, I'll cover it, or I'll put some foam up and around it. But that's sweet. So I'll put 2 of them here, and then 2 of them will be under the seat. Alright guys, so you can see what's going on here. If you look in the glove box, if the glove box is here, you wouldn't see anything. But this is my new wiring. This is right here. Look at this. Doesn't move at all. I have it rock solid just with 1 zap strap. And then I have a quick removable one right here. So that way if I ever have to pull them out, it's just a quick remover right here. These right here are the lines that are going. So as I told you, tweeter and woofer go here, and then an input wire comes out. So the wire is coming out and down through here. And I've taped the 2 wires going to the line out converter right here, and the 2 wires going to the amplifier right here. Both blues are the crossovers, and these 2 right here are the actual speaker lines coming from the stereo, which I stole from each of the speakers. So now what I need to do is I'm going to just actually put this dash back together. I don't actually have to have this apart anymore. So I'm going to put this back together, and then from there I'm going to start popping out trim all the way along. So it's just the back end of the vehicle I'm going to be using. Well guys, as you can see, front end's back together. Looks nice and factory. As you can see, I've taped this so when I start hiding my wires, it'll blend right with the factory. But if you look at that, you can see my the horn on the on the mid driver there. So as we can see here, a little bit of Velcro that off, Velcro this off a bit, just so we can get good access. I can feel the wire grommet on the back end here. And I'm just gonna reach down, and yeah, the zipper is down in here, so let's see. I can pull it out right here by the tag, but I think what I'm gonna do first is you work these out with your fingers like this, and then I'm gonna need to go grab my Christmas tree popper so I can pop these pop clips. I'll have to pop this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I think that's all I see in here. So that one, that one, that one. We'll just go and start with that. In case you're wondering what a Christmas tree popper is, this is it. You stick it in and you pop the pin out like that. It can be a little bit flimsy, so you might have to grab it and wiggle it with your fingers. Next thing is of course to remove this piece. To do so, you have to reach down here right to the very end, grab it and pull pull towards the driver's side. Once you do that, you slowly work it out, and then you have to this is the fun part too. You have to push this end towards there, like this. Push in towards the seat, and then fold the lip up, because this lip is stuck within there. Once you get that out, you should be able to do something like this. Get that plastic piece out of here. And oh look, now we have a place to run our wires along. Just right along in here. So that'll come to right here. And then now I need to go and Christmas tree pop probably the other side of this, or I might be able to work around the zipper. We'll see how I can do this. Alright, so this piece was actually easier to get out than I thought. I had all the push pins out on the front. It's just a couple of pull outs. As you can see, I've probably left one down below, but I'll just use my tree popper and pop that out. And then now that I have this all exposed, I can see the wiring coming down from up here. Some will be for the dome light and some will be for these. Be pretty easy. Just use my wiring that I told you in the beginning, and we should be able to distinguish which ones are speaker wires, and I'll of course show you once I find them. Next thing to do is get this piece out of our way. So pull down on it. You'll feel when it can't pull down anymore, and then come out on an angle. All you got are these two barbs that are holding this piece of styrofoam up. We'll keep that nicely down here. After that, now I can see the ones coming out from over here. I'm gonna make sure that I get around the same groove. That's the whole point for me, is to make sure I can get up and into pretty much the same groove that the roll bar, or the speakers in the roll bar, went into, without trying to create a new hole. But we'll see what I can do for getting in here without doing so. Alright guys, I was just looking for power wire running, and of course it's not going to sit up here. I'll loom it later, but this is going to sit up in here, and I'm just going to zap strap it along this current wire loom that goes right to the battery. So that'll go there, and then like I said, it goes right in there. I'm guessing that's where the clutch pedal would sit, but since I don't have a clutch, I can put it there. Some people might try to run it through there, which will come out over here. Technically in here. That's not really my thing to do. I don't like to run anything through that groove, really. There is ways you can do it, though. Like, might be able to do something through the top end here. This might just go, yeah, this just goes up into here, though. So yeah, for you guys with other Jeeps, you might actually have to throw another hole in. Just make sure you don't puncture the brake cylinder. You can just make sure you double check both sides, but I was lucky because I have an automatic and I can go right through that hole right there, which is, yeah. So I popped this grommet in and this grommet out this way, and took a little bit of wiggling, but got the haywire through. Like I said, all you do is you stuff it in and then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle all the way. Alright, so what I did is I cut a groove into the grommet, so as you can see, it's just going to sink right in there. I just cut a big V into it, and then this sinks into here when I squeeze it in. And I'm doing that on the other side. Alright guys, so got the wire through here. I've already put that one in and back together, but again, you don't have to do this unless your friggin' crossovers are huge. If you don't have huge crossovers, then you're just going to be grabbing your input wires from here. But that being said, for me, I'm just running the new woofer wires right now. So as you can see, I got this one here. What I did is I put a hole way in the corner here, just with the drill, and I was holding this piece back with my finger right here. So if I'm going to take anything, I'll take a drill with the finger. The other thing you can do is pull it back like this. See all that room in there? That's where I put my holes, up in there. And then after it came up through there, as you can see, I pulled it out through the bar here. And then now I've got them just coming down here, down through the A-pillar. So it comes down there, down through the A-pillar. If I tighten these up and tuck these in so I can zip them up, these will tuck in up there. Just like that. Get these nice and clean over here. And then they're following my other wires right here. Just like I want it to. Right along here. So I'm just going to now put the other woofer in, and also I'm going to silicone the hole. I want to shoot some silicone in there to seal the hole, and other than that, yeah, just silicone the hole and then zap strap these up and follow it down. Alright guys, so I've got, as you can see, these are going to be going to my amplifier. These are the tweeters, because I wired the tweeters in up here, and then I ran new wires for the woofers. So this side of it is going to go right to, these ones are going to go down to the crossover that I'm wiring. But for you, you probably don't have the crossover. Like I said, you probably mounted it up in here. So this would be your speaker side. So these are going to go to your amplifier, and these right here are the other side, and these are going to go to your line out converter if you're using a line out converter. If you're not using a line out converter, then you would just, trim these off and run the RCAs from the deck. But yeah, so these are all the speakers for up top there, or those are the speaker wires for up top. Light green and both of them with light greens. Those are your positives, and both the darker colors are your negatives. Okay, so I'm just going to solder these on, and then after that run them down here and then run them under the passenger seat. So just for a quick update, all I did is I followed this all the way down. This is going to be all zipped up, making sure she stays out of the way of the belt. Actually, I've got to bring this on this side. That'll be something I quickly do here. And then after that, you're just going to continue here. And then see here, we're just going to put it right underneath. That's the best thing to do there. Okay, so just do that. So if you use that center flap right there like I show you, it comes out, or you can tuck it in all the way up to here and bring it up right here. And then I'm going to wire in my other crossovers under there. As you can see, my amplifier is right there. For that side, for bringing the power wire over there, you've already seen how I got it through the firewall. All I'm going to do is take that all off, just like I did this side. So you can just do that. So we can wire this up. Now, how the line out converter works, as you can see, I've got one here. It's by audio control, connection. And this one will be pretty straightforward. I'll show you how to wire it up in a second here. But first things first, if you reach right here, you'll see the carpet. You'll feel that the carpet ends. What I'm going to do is to get some wires from here to the other side, all sneaky like, I'm going to shove this through over here and see if we can get it in over there. Now this could be a little tricky because of the fact I've got a seat rail in the way. We'll see if I can luck out and get out through the other side right away. Well, I can already feel that it's going to be, yeah, it's going to go right through. I just can't pull it out right now. So yeah, just fish in right there and out through there. Alright guys, so remember those wires that I ran from each of the speakers? Not the speaker themselves, but the wire that was going to the deck, to the speaker. These are them. This is the front left and front left and rear left, front right and rear right, and of course I color coded them. So as you can see here, this is going to say put in your front left, front right, rear left, rear right into here. From there you need power, ground, and then there's a remote out. The reason why is this is signal sensing. Then it turns on the amplifier, and then we got to run our RCAs from here to the amplifier. It's very simple. Just follow what it says. We've got all our wires here now. Now we just have to run, like I said, the RCAs over there, and we have to run the power wires over there, and that's it. And you're gonna run those into here. Perfect. So if you're going to be removing the seat, I would highly recommend you pull off the negative terminal. How you do that is if you look on the positive, you see how there's that center bolt right here, my finger's touching, take a 10 mil, loosen that so it comes up, and then you just undo it like this, just like that, and then put it right beside the engine there so it can't touch the battery. Now from there we can pop out the seat. So what I'm going to do, it's up to you if you want to do this. I want to make this a little bit easier on myself, so I'm going to unbolt the front seat. This is for, I guess they're 18 millimeter bolts. I'm going to remove those. To get access to them, you just pop those little panels up just midway, meaning not all the way because you spin them after. So you just pop it and then spin. Okay. To disconnect the seat, all you do is lean it back or have someone hold it from the back, and you just lean it backwards. You'll see that there's a push pin here. You push this down and then pull the connector out the other end. Now you might think, oh my god, this is a great ground. If you ground to here, you're going to mess with the airbag system, I would not suggest touching that vehicle ground. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get down here and I'm going to find me a nice ground down here that's solid. And this looks like it goes pretty close to frame, so I'm going to be knocking around here and checking. I might even do it right here. If I lift this up, I might put my ground right here and feed it through one of these plugs down here. That might be good. It's cool. As you can see, cleaned off the metal. You want it shiny like that. You want to get through that primer. And then after that, if you want, shoot some clear coat over the connection once we're done. But first, clean that off like that. And then now we're going to put a self-tapping screw with this like that. So it's flat on there. And then we'll put a self-tapping screw. I always like to use a washer so it completely holds the whole circle down. So all I did is I turned the seat to the side after I got it unbolted. So as you can see, they're all down there, everything's wired, and I brought all the wires over here. Now it's time to start wiring up the amplifier. So after you have your crossovers wired, if you want to figure out which speaker is which, what you can do is, I don't know if I can show you this on camera. It all depends if I can move this wire with my finger. Whoa. Hear that? All I'm doing is I'm bumping it with a battery and it tells me that's my left speaker right here. So on my amp, I'm going to put it as left front. And then, yeah, that's all you can do. Alright guys, so remember the speakers from the crossovers? That one right here. This is to the line output converter, which is the RCAs, or if you have an amp, you're just putting that there. And there is our positive, our remote wire, which I've still got to hook up, and our ground. And positive and ground, just make sure those are in. And if you're running a line output converter, not only slide the 4 gauge in the positive hole, but also slide in the positive for your line out converter and the negative for your line out converter. Important thing when buying a line out converter, make sure it's got the auto remote on. Yeah, it saves you a big deal in these CAN bus systems. So once we get this all done, or I'm going to quickly wrap up here and then I'm going to go under the hood and I'll show you how to button up under the hood, and then we can do that. Now just for amplifier, make sure you set the amplifier. I always do this before I even give it power. This amp will way overpower my speakers, so I have my input levels turned down a bit to where I know it was good because of a previous ride. How you adjust this is just adjusting it with the speakers on. You crank your volume up to where you like to listen and you just set it there to the loudest you're going to listen, and you make sure your speakers do not start what I call clipping, where it sounds really dirty and muddy, you'll know. If you don't, you can always take it to a professional tuner. And then I like to do HBF, which is high frequency, and I always put it at 80. And if you're running a sub, you do LPF and run that at 100 if you want. Other than that, I'm gonna quickly just wrap this up so we can go under the hood. So you can see over there what I did is I put a black zap strap right there, zap strap, a zap strap right here, a zap strap, fuse blocks right here, zap strap, brought my pigtail around here and bolted it right there. All good to go. Now let's go into the vehicle and to attack. So I just checked everything is good. Of course, if the video helped you out, press like and subscribe for more videos. It was a crazy long day today. The last half was kind of at night. Sorry guys, but I hope you enjoyed it.